Hello, and welcome to episode 3 from my groundbreaking mini-series, Practical Life Hacks for Women Living with an Ostomy. Today, we are going to be talking about helpful hints to telling people about your ostomy with confidence. So, despite there being up to 1 million people living with an ostomy in North America alone, so believe it or not, that's kind of like 100,000 new surgeries a year, few people have ever seen an ostomy or know somebody with one. We also know that whilst an ostomy is gradually becoming more accepted as a procedure for diseases such as colorectal cancer and inflammatory bowel diseases, and in fact, ostomates are getting younger and younger than ever before, there's still a lot of misunderstanding and judgment on ostomies worldwide. So I think you'll agree with me when I say that telling people you have an ostomy can be kind of challenging. One of my patients said, I would make it such a normal thing that I wouldn't dread having to talk about it. Kind of like how people announce their allergies. Public washrooms, they're a struggle for many of us at the best of times. And I would say since COVID-19 and with regulations about how many women can be in a washroom at any time, including standing in line, there's added pressure to an already stressful process. There were a number of occasions where I had to try and explain to others why I needed to butt in front of them when the next available stall came open. So in this episode, I'm going to share 3 helpful hints to help you tell people about your ostomy with confidence. My name is Dr. Susie LeBrocq at www.doclebrocq.com/gold. That's spelled DocLeBrocq.com/gold. I'm a psychotherapist and I've been working in the field of mental health for over 20 years. You can find this episode at www.doclebrocq.com/lifehacks episode 3. I teach female ostomates to reclaim their mind, body, and sexuality using proven tools to heal past their pain and step into their personal power. So my superpower is my story. I'm an example of what's possible for you by turning my medical trauma, my ileostomy, being in a coma, 11 surgeries, into the empowerment that I used to pursue my dreams. I used my story to achieve my highest calling, which was to do a PhD and ultimately to use my suffering to teach others. I go before you with my personal journey of survival. By virtue of being a patient in the medical trenches, making mistakes, shedding tears, and actually experiencing incredible wins, I will guide you to develop a loving relationship with yourself that will lead to personal renewal through your inner transformation. Today, we are talking all about human connection. I've organized some helpful hints to help you tell people about your ostomy in different situations. Now, there's a lot of information that I'll cover today, so I prepared this really helpful 2-page handout that you can keep on hand, that you can give to people, that talks about what kind of ostomy you have and a little bit about your story. You can download this for free at www.doclebrocq.com/lifehacks episode 3. So first off, let's talk about what an invisible illness is. An invisible illness is one that's unseen to the naked eye. People with an ostomy often have a difficult time explaining their struggles to strangers and those perhaps that they come in contact with on a regular basis. I think it's even harder when it's a loved one because kind of on the outside, we still look the same amid our scars and poop bags. Without any obvious signs of physical injury, such as a cast or a walking aid, it may be difficult for people to understand that there's still something serious happening inside of your body or, in fact, your mind. This lack of understanding can create even more stress when your family and friends or people you work with have expectations that are no longer in line with your abilities, your energy level, and your tolerance. Sometimes trying to explain your circumstance to family and friends can be exhausting in itself. So you may have to either push through or overdo it, which can result in serious flare ups, or pull out of activities altogether and begin to feel really socially isolated. Another of my patients said, I would change other people's close minded, uneducated opinions about my ostomy. You may also feel that your mood impacts those around you, leading to feelings of tension, guilt, and inauthenticity. Pain science shows how our mood and negative emotions can further increase the level of pain we feel. So, what can you do to help other people understand your invisible illness or injury? Let's look at helpful hips to telling people. Number one, educate others and explain your condition. Keep it simple and encourage curiosity. A simple explanation can go a long way in helping you to explain your condition. So, your willingness to talk about your pain and the challenges that you face may help you in becoming more accepting of your condition. It may allow you to feel more in control and actually grow stronger as a result. This discussion will also help loved ones and other people understand your limits as well as what they can do to help you. So, okay, what does that look like? I hear you ask. How do I even start? What if, like me, you aren't really sure what your ostomy is? That was a really big thing for me. When I woke up with an ostomy, I had no idea what this was, why it was there. I really didn't have a good understanding of how my body worked. Now, my rule of thumb is that you don't know what you don't know, and the same goes for others. So give them a chance and tell them what's going on, even if it feels awkward. But prepare, prepare, prepare. Plan like it's a presentation, and remember, you actually can't control what others feel or how they respond. Don't worry about the information I'm giving you. You don't have to memorize it. I've made it easy by preparing this fabulous 2-page handout that you can actually fill in and give to other people that have questions. It's available to download for free at www.doclebroc.com/lifehacks episode 3. So, helpful hips to telling people. Number 2, make your limits known. A boundary is an imaginary line that separates me from you. It's my hula hoop around myself. To aid in your own healing, it's important to avoid overcommitting, setting yourself up for a roller coaster of flare-ups or blowouts. So make it known to family and friends that with this condition, you may experience limitations with the level, the duration, and the certain type of physical activities in which you can engage. That would certainly be at the beginning. Educate loved ones about the fluctuations in your pain, in your body, and how this variation may mean that, you can only commit to a certain part of an event, or that you might actually have to wait until the day of the event to make a decision on whether you feel well enough to go or not. By being upfront about your situation, it will take away some of the stress, the pressure, and the guilty feelings that may otherwise be experienced. By verbalizing your limitations, you can help yourself set appropriate boundaries and expectations, both for others and for you. I remember once having this really awkward situation where my husband's friend kept insisting that we go on this glorious beach holiday with him and his spouse. Now, as a new ostomy, I was so not ready to show my bag, my scars, or the thought of being, semi-naked in public terrified me. I was unsure how to set a boundary in a healthy way back then. So I just ended up crying because everybody told me it would be okay, which in my mind it wasn't. And it wouldn't be. It certainly didn't feel okay in that moment. My rule of thumb is to speak your truth. No one can cross your boundaries except you. Think about that, and maybe we'll talk more about that in another episode. Helpful hints to telling people number 3. Surround yourself with facilitators, not fixers. So what do I mean by that? I've learned on this journey that not all healthcare providers have a really in-depth knowledge about the challenges physically and emotionally when living with an ostomy. So surround yourself with people and practitioners who see their job as facilitators rather than fixers. Find people who empower you to take control of your health, who empower you to take control of your ostomy, rather than making you feel like you need to rely on them. Some practitioners may not fully understand what living with an ostomy may feel like for you, and they may sometimes think that your challenges are all in your head. This is your opportunity to educate them so that they can support others along the way. My rule of thumb is to surround yourself with winners. You'll go a really long way. Again, my name is Dr. Susie LeBrocq at www.doclebroc.com/gold. I'm a psychotherapist and I've been working in the field of mental health for over 20 years. You can find this episode on www.doclebroc.com/lifehacks episode 3.